received. First question. Organizations that are interested in submitting proposals under your topics, for example, E21, development and market rollout of innovative energy services, will you organize a special event to discuss proposals? The question is put forward by Bello Carlos.
This is Edwin Billier. The answer is no. Not planning to do that.
That was clear. The second question is Carl Lauer. Can funding under any one of the goals be applied for if 2 or 3 members of the consortium is in EU and 1 outside the list of qualifying countries, for example in Eastern Europe?
Hello, Gordon Sutherland here. The minimum number requirements is for 3 participants from 3 states, from the member states of the European Union or associated countries. Outside of the associated countries, you would still require the minimum number of participants from the 3 member states or associated countries. I hope that's clear. Otherwise, we can also reply directly with an email. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Again, Lauer, do research and innovation actions also cover indeed to adapt existing technologies to different markets? For example, for adapting an appropriate technology into a market where high-tech cannot be afforded at the moment.
One of the of the of actually all this research and innovation activities is to make technologies much more affordable. So, I mean that's the objective of the program, to make it affordable. If we are talking about something that is so far ahead of the market at the moment that it's unreasonable, it's typically related to the TRLs. So something that is funded for TRL 4 to 6. I'll start again. Something that the challenge is the levels of TRLs 4 to 6, and actually the proposal is about something that is at the level of 2, would be responding to the challenge. So here really for marketable solutions in most. Something that is in the already in development stages. It can be proved that it can be applied in buildings. So at the end of the day, these technologies have to be affordable.
Right. The next question is from David Mardaras. Does the technology readiness level 5 to 7 mean that we have to go from one level to another within the project?
The development of the project has to, or the status of development of the project of the proposal has to be within these TRLs. It doesn't have to go from 5 to 7. It means that you have to be between 5 and 7.
Okay. Next question is from Abramiuk. What financing micro CHP supported by LPG? Energy efficient device, and it's very good for areas where there is no main gas, for example in rural areas. Does the fact that it is fueled by fossil fuel mean that Horizon 2020 will not cover it?
No, not the case. In particular for heating and cooling, we are, for example, for EE14, we are looking for very efficient products which may or may not be running with fossils. So we are talking from gas boats to renewable energy solutions. So we are not of fossil fuels for the participation.
Okay, good. Next, from Zoe Holden, costs of a more developed Tier 7 plus technology be covered by Horizon 2020 funding if its installation will provide data information that will be used for the development of a toolkit or methodology under E3 to 5.
3 to 5.
Sutherland here. Of course, we're not commenting on any specific solutions or what would be eligible or not. How the whole process of moving from research to market is what we wish to accelerate. Then the topics of coordination and support, which are typically at TRLs of between 8 and 9, be seen as activities which are picking up on the outcomes of research.
Next from Karl Lauer, what is the deadline for E20 applications?
This is speaking. The deadline is 5th of June at 17 p.m.
Very good, thank you. Is it possible to participate at different calls with the same idea or project? Question for Fabrizio Nofri.
In this case, the answer would be that we cannot double fund proposals. So, send your proposal to more than one area, but it would only be funded by one. I hope this is the question.
I think so. Next question, by Karl Lauer. Is the threshold for recommended proposal? Recommended proposal is a score of 10. Does it mean that recommended is accepted for funding?
No. Threshold 10 means that minimum score for a proposal to be considered for funding is 10. The evaluations, we compare the number of proposals we have and with the budget available, and we fund as many proposals as we can from any proposals over 10. If we have 40 proposals over 10, but we have budget for 20, we will finance the 20 with the highest score.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's clear. The next one is from Judith Kimpian. Is the 3 participants from 3 countries rule a minimum rule? For example, minimum 3 participants from a minimum of 3 countries.
The general rule, it means that we need at least 1 participant from 1 country. 3 is the minimum, unless there is a specific rule indicated in the work program that indicates that this is not the case. For example, for most challenges, it will be 3 parts from 3 countries. E4, we have the possibility of having 1 partner from 1 country.
Thank you.
Just a comment. You can actually have larger consortiums. A consortium of 10, 15, 20 from 10, 15, 20 different countries.
Yes, thank you, Paul. About financial guidelines is the next question. And are these provided in the FP7 financial guidelines official document? I understand the question correctly. By David Murderers.
Gordon here. I would just like to clarify, of course, it's no longer FP7, but it is now Horizon 2020. Relevant financial guidelines apply. This information can be found on the participant portal.
Okay, thank you. The next from Horia Petran. For E4 construction skills, is it possible to develop national qualification schemes for RES installers in the context of only fragmented small training courses existing? This would improve qualification, but it would address an obligation of the EU directive.
We are not commenting on. This is Natalie speaking. Sorry, we're not commenting on the ideas and whether they will fulfill the requirements of the calls. But what I said earlier was that installers of renewable energy systems are covered by the scope EE4.
The next question is from Mariana Sillanek-Zavro. Energy savings are to be indicated. Do we take into account national conversion factors as they may differ from country to country?
This is Paul speaking. Yes, you have to indicate primary energy savings, and you have to take into account the national conversion factors. This way of doing it is on a table. So if you have 5 countries participating, you should apply the five different national conversion factors. There are lines in the template about this particular point.
Good to know. Aristai asks, what role of universities in the proposals?
This is Paul speaking. Universities largely depends on the role. It's if you think whether universities can participate in research and innovation actions, or coordination and support actions, they can participate in any of the 3. There has to make sense according to the objectives of the proposal.
Question from Nelson Martins. Is the consortia integration support service available?
Adrian speaking. We're not providing that generally. I would indicate that they're on the Manage Energy portal. We still have a partner search facility. I'm not sure I would qualify that as a consortia integration service, but it could help you to find suitable partners. So that's on the Manage Energy website.
Coming back to the same question, there is also a clarification. So, if the register identify proposals that are being developed, I'm not sure if
no.
you know. Okay. So, going to the question by Fabrizio Onofri: will the calls presented today, such as EE1, have a second deadline next year?
Right. This is Paul speaking. Next to each one of the challenges, so for example, EE1 2014, manufacturing of prefabricated modules for renovations of buildings. The 2014 indicates that this proposal is only available for 2014. On the other hand, for example, if you go to it indicates EE 2014, 2015. So the years where this challenge will be open is indicated in each one of the challenges.
Good. Let's see what is the next question. Of the previous IE priorities, dissemination, awareness raising and professional education actions had been supported. At the moment, it looks like the current call, A4, look mainly at constructions and craftsman skill. Will there be future calls on the previous IE priorities?
This is Paul speaking. The IE-like activities are under the Energy Efficiency Challenge 5. So, energy performance of existing buildings through process and organization innovations and creating a market for deep renovation. A lot of what we used to do under the IE program.
And just to add that anybody who's interested in all IEE type activities can simply enter IEE in the participant portal search engine, and they will receive a list of all IEE type of actions under Horizon 2020. And I would pass to Nathalie for one more clarification on this point.
Indicated in the question that the topic EE4 address mainly construction craftsman skills. I just want to clarify that this is not only addressing craftsmen, but also other professionals from the building sector are covered by this topic.
Thank you. is more a comment than a question, I think, by Barbara Gabriel. When we consider existing buildings, some of them, historic ones, for example, the HVAC systems are a challenge when they exist. So the efficiency in buildings depends not only on the constructive solutions or energy systems, but also on user behaviors. If you want to add something, comment on this.
In fact, it's an interesting comment. I would only respond by saying that the efficiency call is not a purely technology-based call for proposals. It's also dealing with market uptake to overcome non-technological barriers. Each of the challenges is addressing, each topics under the call is addressing a different type of challenge, and it's really up to the proposers to come forward with their solution to that challenge.
Thank you. From Judith Kimpian, are public bodies eligible to apply?
Yes. I respond on behalf of my colleagues, yes. Public eligible to apply.
Daras asks, would the license agreement to use a patented technology during the project for further research and development of another technology system be eligible as other direct costs? The patent is from a country not eligible for funding.
Gordon speaking here. In general, the required costs for carrying out an activity are those which would be eligible. This means that if we need some sort of particular product in order to do the project, the amount of time that product license is used on the project could indeed be charged to the contract. That's something that would be looked during the evaluation.
Very good. Is Switzerland included in the list of countries that can participate?
Sutherland is included in the list of associated countries. And there are a list of FP7 agreements are under negotiation for some countries, so it needs to be checked whether agreements have been concluded for this particular country.
Okay. Question is from Theocharis Tsoutsos. Countries to join the Horizon 2020. It is estimated that the final list will be defined.
I'm speaking here. The signature of agreements for associated countries depends on the country itself, so these will be published as and when they become available.
All right. And is a self-employed engineer an entity that can participate? Question by Fabrizio Nofri.
Speaking, generally, unless it is there is something in the rules for participation that exclude it, and if the person has a legal entity, not just as a person, not prevent it, but if they would recommend that you check that in written with us.
From Carlos Calego Bernat. Equipment manufacturers participate in the program, and do size restrictions apply to this?
No, this is a double question. Yes, equipment manufacturers can participate in the program. A lot of the challenges are on development, so why not? And size restrictions, no, there are no size restrictions. So small, medium, or large companies can participate.
Here I would also just like to clarify that, of course, a large company cannot apply for funding for small, medium enterprises, and so there would need to be a declaration on the size of a small, medium enterprise.
Okay. The question from Nelson Martin says, if a call admits one single proposal, or there is only one single proposal to be submitted, is it a plus to include a larger consortium?
I think the question is if the challenge can admit only one proposal partner, is it a plus to have large consortia? No, it's not a plus, it's not a minus. We don't judge on that.
Here. Aristotelos asks, can we develop a business plan for a renewable system to a specific country where it is not popular, but it can help for 2020 zero carbon emissions and is eligible for funding?
Yeah, we cannot comment on specific issues like this. Needs it. The challenge needs it.
Okay, thank you, Paul. And is VAT an eligible cost?
VAT is an eligible cost only for those companies that can cover the VAT from their national their national legal system. So if you're a company that cannot recover VAT, you can declare it as an eligible cost. If you're a company that can recover VAT, you cannot declare it as an eligible cost.
Clear. From Petra Kondres Tomazic, with question: Can the same project proposal be submitted to both Erasmus Plus and Horizon 2020?
Can be submitted to more than one place. However, it can only be funded once. It can only be funded and declared once. Question.
I just would like to add as well here that, of course, if a proposal is submitted to another call for proposals, it should be indicated within the proposal as part of the application forms.
I think we have no more questions at this point. Let me check. I have one question which I'm not sure I understand. Give a second.
I think I understand it. This is Pau speaking. And there is main call that we've been talking about today is under societal challenges, sustainable and efficient energy. There is also another call under industrial leadership that it's about research development of technologies. And this one is specific under industrial leadership. Separate work program, separate deadlines.
For clarifying this, see any more questions? So I give the floor back to you.
Right. If no more questions, of course. If we just see that there is one question from Luis Magalhães. Sorry if I didn't pronounce your name right. Could you repeat your question? Because it in writing. Oh.
Again, Paul. Is there any funding for public behavior that can be only applied for one participant?
We're thinking our first impression is that there isn't. When you have a rule for one participant, it's not about changing public behavior. only ones, or the only behavior would be under the rules where is admissible one participant is EE19 and EE20, and these do not include activities on public behavior. So the response would be no, there is no funding for public behavior for only one participant. Additional questions about the difference between industrial leadership and the current one discussed. Basically, the program is divided in different sections. It's managed by different sections. Area for buildings and the societal challenges is managed by the EASME. The area for buildings and the industrial leadership is managed by DG Research. So it's got a different work program. It's got a different annexes, different conditions. It's by different people. So we cannot comment on the of industrial leadership because our responsibility. Nevertheless, if you have any questions, we can put you in contact with the right people. So no more questions. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for participating. Thank you very much for staying with us for so long. Any more questions? Please do feel free to send us through email at the energy@easeeuropa.eu. We've copied these emails several times on the presentations. So we'll try to answer your question as soon as possible. However, remember that we cannot answer pre-proposal checks. We can answer questions, general questions, or we can answer specific questions about the meaning of certain areas, but we cannot provide feedback on the suitability of a specific proposal. On behalf of the whole of the buildings team, thank you very much. Good luck if you're submitting any proposals.
And the presentation, please.
One last question, which I think is relevant for the Simpraxis team. When are the presentations coming online?
Okay, it takes us about 2 to 3 weeks to put them online. We understand that there are deadlines and quite a few interested people for this particular webinar. We have to have them online Wednesday next week, but definitely within next week. And there will be a mail to everybody who participated, who registered today, even if they did not actually participate, that they have gone online.
There's also one very last question that we'll answer, and then we call it here. There is one last question from Mariana. Can universities be project leaders? Yes, they can be project leaders.